is Anne-Marie Coon-Holmes. This presentation is offered to share my project management journey addressing the issues of the Dependable Insurance Company case study in Franklin University's course IDPT 715 during spring semester 2020. This is a brief overview of the work of the semester. The semester was spent creating a project management process based on a case study of the Dependable Insurance Company call center located in Fayetteville, North Carolina. The project process simulated the development of a single e-learning module focused to improve customer-facing call center staff's customer service survey scores and improve job satisfaction of the employees. Each week, a different element of the process was developed, beginning with the scope document and working through to planning for evaluation of the developed product. While this process is extensive, the presentation will highlight development of the specifics of the scope document, establishment of the project team, the communication change material plan, introduce the budget, schedule, and risk management plan, introduce quality management plan, and explain the plan for project evaluation. If after viewing this presentation you have any questions, please contact me at the email address provided on the final screen. The scope. The scope document defines and guides the project. This is the document that provides understanding between all of the stakeholders about the gap of the project is addressing. The scope defines what makes the project a success. The elements included in this document are a statement of the project goals, identification of the target audience, how the project will be evaluated, what defines success, an initial timeline, and recognition of potential complications that could cause delays or other issues for the project. Project team. The project team was comprised of internal company employees. Some of the roles included the subject matter experts who were selected from the existing SCSR, CSR, and supervisor teams. The instructional designers were selected from the home office organization development team. The IT team members were important in keeping everyone online. The workforce management analyst provided important information about the anticipated call volume and staffing requirements so that impacted staff would be available and the project avoided delays. The project manager, assistant project manager, and quality assurance role all work together to keep all team members and stakeholders appropriately informed so that each could concentrate on their assigned task. Communication and change plan. The communication plan was established to identify the type of communication for each situation and included the audience and who was responsible for creating and distributing the communication. The primary form of communication was email. The next was in-person meeting that would provide a written recap for anyone who was not available to attend. Different levels of frequency of communication were required for different level of stakeholder participation. Change. The case for the change that the project was fulfilling was based on the expectation of improved customer satisfaction surveys after interaction with call center staff. The learning module being designed is meant to improve customer service skills and through improved success, increase job satisfaction, leading to a reduction in employee turnover. Budgets. All projects have a cost. Even a project like this, where all resources were internal to the company, it was still necessary to consider the value of the resources utilized. For example, the wages and overhead of the participating staff were not paid out directly by the project management, but they were still paid by the company. It is important to understand that those costs are, especially later when a return on investment assessment may be completed. Even with using all internal resources, it was necessary to project specific costs. In this case, travel, housing, and car rental for the instructional designers coming from out of state. The budget was presented with a total for the lines of the budget and then a separate amount for projected contingency costs, resulting in a final working budget amount. Schedule. The project schedule was developed using a Gantt form, which provides a quick visual look of any step of the project. The Gantt form illustrates what elements have been completed, which are on time, anything that is possibly running beyond the allotted time, and those that have not yet started. The schedule for this project attempted to anticipate each step and sub-step of the process and allow enough time for completion. Risk management. All projects, the successful and the failed, all face potential risk. The purpose of the risk management plan is to identify potential issues and weigh the likelihood of their impact. For this project, some of the risk elements considered were pretty standard, including call center staffing shortages that would result in SCSR and CSR project team members becoming unavailable, loss of connectivity, power or internet, network, last-minute need to print hard copy documentation with an outside vendor, in this case, Staples. One risk that was considered based on current global health issues is the potential impact of the pandemic on the project's successful completion. At the time of the risk management plan development, the severity of the pandemic was undefined in the United States and North Carolina specifically. It was prudent to consider potential impact. Quality management. Quality management plan for this project requires the quality assurance QA team member to be fully engaged in all design, comment, and review processes. It is the role of the quality management to identify issues, assess their impact, take corrective action, and continue to monitor the project. Evaluation. An evaluation plan for the actual project process is very important for the success of any project. This is an important tool for the project manager and quality assurance to use throughout the process to identify if the project plan is working. Is the process being successful and leading to the customer and stakeholders' desired outcome? Not all evaluation during a project is necessarily aimed at the immediate project or issue, but is an opportunity to identify potential future issues or needs. Evaluation instruments designed through the project process provide analysts data to provide understanding if a process or performance is successful and allow comparison between the actual, projected, or desired outcome. When developing an evaluation plan, it is necessary to consider a number of factors. For this project, the evaluation strategy and criteria for consideration are tied to the question of what business need is the project serving and what are the project goals. Changes over the life of the process. Over the semester, as new elements and factors were introduced during the learning process, it became necessary to make changes and updates to the developing process plan. Shortly after the initial identification of projected project team members, it became obvious that additional detail as well as other roles were necessary. These include definition of designers as instructional designers, with at least one also having graphic arts skills. An IT role was added as a permanent member of the team, along with an analyst from the workforce management team. Both roles became very important once the timetable was shortened and the implementation phase was cut nearly in half, which leads to the recognition of the change that were necessary after SVP Kimberly Wilson dictated that the training period for all call center staff was to be reduced. Some of the issues this caused involved sufficient staffing for adequate phone coverage, potential issues with the available network bandwidth, and yet to understand impact on the effectiveness of the learning. In addition, what started out as a recognition of a potential issue and identification of the possibility of impact from the growing global issue of COVID-19 led to an eventual direct impact when the home office staff were unable to travel to North Carolina. Contingencies that were set aside as a just in case became a reality. Thank you. I remain available to answer any questions at your convenience via email.